Hello, my friends. Today's practice is for the tired, the weary, those of you who just need a break. We're going to use a couple pillows. You can use bolsters, whatever you have, and we're going to begin lying down. And as promised in the title and description here, I'm going to give as minimal instruction as possible so that we can just be quiet together. So place one pillow under your knees and one under your head. And just give yourself a few deep breaths. With the next exhale, really allow your back to release toward the mat. And anywhere else that's gripping a little, if it can, to just unclench any amount. If you have your eyes closed, slowly open them. Just begin to bend your knees up. You can leave your pillow there behind and hold your legs with your hands. They can be apart or together, up to you. And with this roundness in the spine, let that continue to exaggerate that stretching, that gentle stretching of the back. Begin to make small undulations in the spine now, almost like you're doing cat and cow. So arching and rounding the spine, which will tilt and tuck the pelvis, which in turn will move the knees away from and toward the chest. Inhale, arch the back, tilt the pelvis, press the knees away. Exhale, round the back, draw the waist down, tuck the pelvis, and bring the knees in. Let's do one more. Your knees over to the side and roll over with your knees so you end up on your side. You can push with your hands to sit yourself up. Take the bolster or whatever pillow might have been under your knees and move it to the same side as the other pillow. That's for something we're going to do in a moment. For now, we're going to drop the left knee down and bring the right foot in. So you can keep the ankles close or cross your ankle over your knee for Ardha Matsyendrasana. We're going to go in slow and hold it for a little bit here. So take hold with your left hand, kind of pull your knee upright, and just ever so slightly begin to rotate your spine to the right. Place your right hand next to or behind your hips and allow your right hip to anchor down. And then rock forward and backward. So your hips are moving forward and backward, and your knee, that upright knee, is also going. Just a gentle swaying. You could also just hold your knee with both hands and make your back a little bit more round. Pause the swaying, inhale, making space. If there's the desire to twist more, just go slowly. Listening to your body, so you're continuing this idea of rest in how you treat your own temple. Give a little hug to the leg, just pull the knee a little closer. Keep that right hip down so your outer hip can stretch. Begin to unravel the twist, uncross your legs, and then lie down on your side with one pillow or bolster under the side ribs and waist, and your head on the other one. If it feels like too big of a bend, you can minimize the size of the prop, or you could elevate your head. And just like when you were on your back at the beginning, do what you can to release your weight down. And we'll add a similar sort of rocking or undulating movement here. So it could be a forward, a backward action, rocking front to back on the bolster. Maybe it's a little C crunch where your side body is trying to take a little bite out of the prop that it's resting on. Just try to make the movements in such a way where you stay relaxed and restful. And hold still, find your breath, and just stay here and breathe. To press back up towards sitting. Keep your props where they are. Just turn sitting with your back towards them. Stretch out with your left leg and bend the right leg into tree pose. If you have a block or you prefer to support your head, you can grab a prop for that. We're going to fold forward and bow toward the straight leg. Squeeze that straight leg just a little bit straighter without over-efforting or losing the restful quality in the rest of your form. As you sit up, leave your legs roughly like they are, but just scoot a touch forward with your behind so that you can lie back on your bolster. And then again, head on pillow, adding extra height as needed under your head. And for this iteration of a reclining tree pose, just let your legs relax. See if you can gently expand your breath. And then once more, you're going to roll to your side, just pausing for a moment. And make your way up to sit again. When you arrive at sitting, set yourself up for Ardha Matsyendrasana. So we're going to put the, let me think, you know the yoga is working when your brain stops functioning normal. Left knee upright, right knee down, and twisting toward the left. So remember that we're going to go in slow, which means you don't need to go that deep right now, just a gentle twist around. And then a little bit of rocking maybe. The knee and the hips move, the torso kind of follows that. Land so that there's weight in that left hip. Try to keep it relaxing down and just begin to draw the knee up and or twist a little bit more to the left. If you start to feel resistance in your body, just back away from the intensity of how far or hard you're stretching. Make it more restful and relaxing instead. If it's taking a while to let go, just be patient. This is my tight side, so if you need to come out, please do. I'm just honoring that this side needs more time for me. From here, we're going to move to side lying. The bolster under the side ribs, the head supported. Make it higher if you need to. Let there be a little bit of movement now, like an undulation or rocking. Could originate from the hips, from moving the whole torso. Just find what feels good. Use your breath to help expand around your ribs, especially where they're pressing on support underneath them. The bolster is good here because it's slightly firm and it gives just a touch of resistance, and it's like a mini massage to those breathing muscles. Push with hands, sit up, turn so that your back is facing the bolster, right leg straight, left leg bent, and potentially a prop for your head to be supported by. Fold forward over the straight leg. Squeeze your quads. Those are the muscles in the front of your thigh to get your knee a little straighter, and try to find that not too strenuous way. Encourages gentle work without losing the sense of ease that your tired soul needs. Begin your return to sit up. You can leave the legs in this tree pose shape and then roll back, adjusting props as needed so that you're over the bolster and your head is also supported. Subtly deepen your breath. And then once more, roll over to your side. And push up. One last shape that we're going to do here. So this one is going to be a supported bridge pose with your hips on the bolster. So I would suggest that you bring it close by, lie back. Once you're lying down, lift your hips and place the prop underneath you. You could do this on a block too. It's just a lot more restful and soft feeling when you have a soft thing underneath you. So situate yourself so that your pelvis is slightly tucked. In other words, instead of it being like this big back bend of openness like bridge pose often is, lean your weight toward your head end so that your low back starts to lengthen. If you feel like your legs are going to flop open with your knees bent, you can tip your knees in with your feet a little bit wide. I would suggest that instead of straightening the legs right now. And this is to encourage this posterior tuck with the goal of stretching the lumbar spine and up into where the kidneys sit, just above the low back. Make any micro adjustments as needed to let this really be relaxing to you and to your body. You're welcome to stay as is, or if you want an even deeper rounding to the low back, pick up your knees and feet just like you did earlier. But since the hips are elevated, it's going to feel a little bit more rounded in your spine. If you're comfortable with it or you know it and you want, you could also even flip your feet over and head in the direction of plow or snail pose or some hybrid thereof. Kind of like a floating happy baby. If you did go upside down, just begin to wrap that up. And start to roll out. And let's remove the bolster from underneath the hips. We'll place it under the knees just like we began. And we can even put something under the head, just kind of mirroring what we did at the beginning of the practice here at the end of the practice. If you own a sandbag, this is a really nice tool for bringing that sense of ease and relaxation. It just helps the nervous system to calm. It's like a weighted blanket or a warm hug. So I like it across the pelvis. And we'll just rest here for a few breaths in the silence. With your breath now, begin to bring in the light to refresh yourself with some deeper inhales, some longer exhales. Begin to move your hands and feet to stretch and wake back up. As always, when you're transitioning, especially in a slow practice like this, it's a good idea not just to take your time, but to roll to the side instead of sitting straight back up. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope this has been nourishing for your tired being, and I'll see you next time.